Well, today my goal is to create an input element that I can use to key in my to-do item, and then I'm going to integrate it with HTMX so that whenever I add to do, like click this add to do button, it will change my button to the input field that I've created. So first thing first is definitely to create a common temper that is of input.temper. Right, so after creating it, just going to create this input field with an input tag. So I'm just going to create one with the label. Maybe I don't need a label. Yeah, just understandable. Have a nice day. Try this. Don't need BR. So it's just a simple input field that I can put in my name. That is string. So ID is the name. Name is also the name. And then I have the label. If I don't want the label, then I can have just a name. Right, like this. The type is equal to text. We're going to add some CSS in between. So this class is going to be like this. I can then put in the input in my to-do. So because I want to test if my component is working fine, I'm just going to add in command.input right here with input name of to-do, add to-do, new to-do, right? It's called new to-do, and come back to my right. But for a while, so I'm going to think how I want to craft my how I want to craft this. Actually it looks fine. I mean, seriously, it looks fine without having to do anything. Just going to add in a bit of border radius, for example. So make it a rounded one, and then make it, I think the font size is also okay though, isn't it? 16 pixel. Generally my text, it can be 16 or 40 pixel. So font, go into my typography and make it a text black font size, text SM, like this. So it can be a rounded one, and the text should be 16 pixel quicksand. Sorry, 14 pixel quicksand. Okay. Right. Yep. To my eyes, it seems like quicksand already. Just to make sure that it does work. Right. Font size is there. Font family is quicksand. Alright. So I got the input field already. So when I click this add to do, I want it to switch over to the input field. So I don't want it to spawn immediately. I want it to be returned by my get request. So this is the template that I'm going to return, which for the common button. Okay, now is the problem because I'm using a common button. I need to add some. Okay, I need to import the HTML first. Right. So first of all is a quick start. Just import the CDN so I can get access to the JavaScript library of HTMX. And after this would be I need an example in the documentation on. Okay, this I need target yes swap. Okay, firstly I need to find a way so that I can actually it may not be ideal if I do in a way like how I usually do React, where I separate everything by components. In this case, separating by components, it makes things a little bit more difficult. So let's just duplicate this thing and put my button directly in my code, and then from here the label is add to do. It's just a simple component. I don't need to yeah, probably I don't need to make it a general components if it is for fast use case, right? So button type is also equals to submit. Probably because I just want to switch it, right? Add to do is it will trigger get request, and then it will switch to my switch to this component. So firstly is ID is add to do button, and then I have the other thing. For example, it will get it will call a get request call let me check. I wonder if there's a like the best practice of how to name the functions that or the API that this HTMX will call. But first is let me just # get the according to REST API, it should be components slash add to do. No. Type equals to add. Can I say like this? Or yeah, I can make it a type and then type add to do. That it will trigger by click, and the target would be my current component add to do button. Okay, I don't need this. And it will swap my entire element, so after HTML, the type is button, yeah. So this I think it will call the get request of towards this component. Let me just verify that it is correct. Right. I go to network tab and just make sure that it will call the API. Okay, refresh it. To do. Oh, wait, what happened? Target error. Oh, oh. Add to do. Add to do button ID is equal to add to do button. What kind of error is this? Okay. So another issue is probably is it because of the target? # target is target. If you want a response to be loaded into different different element, then I can use a # target. But because I'm using the same element, so I assume we don't need a # target. I can just straight away use it to swap my current element. Hopefully it works. Okay, it's time. Dong. Okay, nice. So it will now call a get request to the /components type equals to add to do. So I'm going to create an API called components that will be having all the components that I need to swap. Right. So coming back to my main.go file, this is where I serve my get requests components type, and then a call get search param query params, right? Query parameters is query.param. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so I get the type here, then this. Okay, I cannot put a type. It's a component. No type. This is the template. So main menu. Okay, I don't need this lah. So /components, and I can get I'll just make it a T, and then from here I'll initialize a component based on the condition, checking Golang switch statement. Okay, a switch is a shorter way of writing the if else condition. I can use a switch. Interesting. Switch T equal to C dot query. I can write this. I switch T case component. Oh no, type is equal to add to do. Is it like index.temper? The type is add to do. So when I hit the add to do, I'm going to return component dot. Okay, I'm going to initialize the component equal to templates dot or common dot input. Input, and then the name is add to do. Alright, and return component dot render context dot background blah blah blah, and then default is return. Well, I maybe don't need the default, provided that whenever it fails to be handled, it would then go down here. But I want to return nothing in that case. Can I say that it is okay, I cannot put in the div like this. What should I return? Let me just check. Oh, I should return nothing. Will you complain? Yeah, nothing return statement. Okay, so return error. Okay, error handling. Return new HTTP error. HTTP dot. So this HTTP is from, yep, so instead of unauthorized, it will be the bad request, status bad request. Please provide so invalid element. Alright, so I have a add to do handled now. It's supposed to return me the add to do whenever I click the button and replace it or swap it with my button. Okay, wait, run first, let it cook, and then let's find out if that works. Reload, add to do. Yes, that is absolutely strong. Okay, so now I have the swapping mechanism done, but still I think that maybe using a common template may not be the suitable case, unless if I set up the template like well enough that it can pass in all these attributes of HTMX attributes. But it may not be the case. Like having to pass in the attributes in the template may not be safe. So still, the better thing to do, I think, is just to get in instead of like common input, I make this a specific input that specifically do the input thingy. I can make it by a condition, like if name equal to say for example equal to the add to do, then I'll do this and that. Yeah, but I still need a specific template called, so this is the, let's say, like components, and then inside the components it will be the add to do dot go, right? Add to do input dot go dot temper. Okay, then from here I copy the template file. Shit. What I want to do? Okay, so what I want to do is copy over and then go to add to do, and then package is a components. The template name is add to do input. That I don't need a name. I straight away say that the first thing. Okay, this is my string, so I want it to be full width and then with a gap of 16 pixel, and then the rightmost is a close icon. Yeah, a close icon that I can then going back to the text field. Okay, so I can go to the so in this case what I want to search is material icons, because I want a close icon, right? So I just search it, simple and icon, search like close, boom. Okay, now I got it. This is the one, material symbols outline with a close. Okay, so what I want to do is I want a div. Okay, after the div is class equal to flex row with full gap 4, and then align items is items center, and then that's it, right? After this, close icon, and before that would be an input field that has the class of flex1. Okay, I want to make sure that it is true. Yep, flex1. Okay, so my close icon is a cursor pointer, and then on click I want to swap with my add to do button type. So the problem is here, this one, add to do button. Okay, so this button is supposed to be one of the components, so now I can understand like add to do button is going to be a specific components, and then from here package components and create it with temper add to do button, boom. Okay, just return this add to do, and here the #x items is something that I need on the close, but the type is add to do button btn. Okay, and it will swap with the ID of this component. So remember that this one, because I'm swapping the outer HTML, and my target is actually not just the close icon, I want to swap the entire div. So I need to assign a target with ID add to do section like this, and then I assign a #target equal to the add to do section. So #target is pointing to a CSS selector, so it should have this what I call this, the hashtag, yeah, to indicate the ID. So ideally it will swap this with auto HTML, meaning that it will swap the entire element out and replace it with the button that we have put in before. Okay, so add to do input is done. Okay, UI side, later we will check if there needs any amendment. I think I need to, like, at least make this color white, so text white, right? Okay, so we are done. Next thing is, because we have the add to do button and add to do input, so I want to replace my hard-coded value here with components dot add to do button. Okay, so that my I don't need to like hard code the value everywhere I use it. And the final thing is go to main.go and then copy the case over, become add to do button, and it will not just render the common input, it will render the entire thing called components dot add to do. Okay, components dot give me some, okay, add to do button, add to do input, and from here is components dot add to do button. Okay, so I have the add to do and add to do button swapping each other. Whenever we click it, we find one another, and then we have the error. Okay, what is this name? This name is before because add to do input we are using the name. Okay, so I don't want to make it dynamic, so it will be the add to do input. ID is also add to do input. Alright, so now there's no more error, but I have the error in the CSS watch. So maybe it's because it's generating the incorrect Go file that it triggers the CSS watch error. So I need to make sure that whenever I save the temper file, it doesn't affect the CSS, like as in there's no error during the compilation. Okay, so I also have this weird little input field that I want to remove it. Okay, wait for a while. It's not building already, so let's just restart it. Okay, so it's a process of waiting for while waiting for it, we can, yeah, I think basically that is what, like, okay, now I got the cute little close icon, then I can type in any fields, and when I press this, it will swap back to the add to do button. So as soon as we can get the feeling right, I do believe that it is quite simple to integrate with HTMX. So this is a simple example of like swapping between components. If we look at the network, right, whenever I trigger a hashtags, it will then call an API from our backend, and our backend will return the exact element need to be swapped, and we can then customize the behavior that we want whenever any swapping happens, like the events that trigger the swapping, like on click, on hover, or whatever things, and then the target elements that we want to do a swapping, and how do we want to do swapping. Do we want to append into the existing element, or we want to replace them completely? It's completely up to our choice, like how we want to do it. So now we've got the cute little input field ready. The next thing would be whenever I press enter, I want it to append to my to-do. But before that, I will need to make the to-do first one and second one to become a dynamic instead of a statically like the hard-coded elements. Then after this, when I press the edit or delete, it should then trigger the necessary API to do the CRUD operations, which is pretty, I got the idea on how to do that already. It's just a matter of time to complete the entire thing. So stay tuned for the coming updates. See ya.